Hello Forgers, Ankh here, and I've got a special treat today. I just got back from Fuse Fest, and we have a whole display case of the last winter to open. Got to crack a lot of this over the weekend during the event. We had a storyline competition, we had sealed play, and all around is a really good first impression of the set. Had a lot of fun, but I am raring to open this box. So, I think today what we'll do is we'll actually open all of the decks, not just one at a time. But I think I will probably keep the kits together, so maybe I can do some sealed builds as well in the future, and maybe we can do some videos around that as well. But let's get into it. This set has been a lot of fun. It's been a long time since we've had some new content, so to speak. And the way it's been designed and the way the factions are working together, I think they did a really good job. So, for last winter boosters, going to move these ones off to the side, and we'll just do one at a time and see what we get. Just like with Battle for White Fang Pass, this set does have a soul bind, so we'll see if we can avoid showing those right off the bat. And we'll get to see some of the cards that got reprinted and some of the new stuff. And we'll just sort of take a look and talk about the cards as we see them. So let's go ahead and start with our Uterra deck here. It's a little too early to tell which of the factions prevailed in terms of strongest in the set. It's a little too early to tell. I think the consensus is that Tempest was really good in Battle for White Fang Pass. Early signs point to Nekrium being one of the stronger factions in the last winter. But all just depends on which you get. So, here we go. We've got Arboris back in action. We've got an Arrogant Mastodon. So this one is part of the new Uterra Tempest faction synergies, which is all about having increased attack. So if you have increased attack, you can if you have another creature in play with increased attack, give this +3/+C for each creature you have with increased attack. So once it's triggered once, it can keep triggering itself to get bigger out of control. The Aloyan and Uterra combination is all about upgrade synergies. So we got our Cultivating Guardian. Lets you upgrade a creature in your hand. So Uterra's upgrades are restricted to creatures. But this one, whenever you upgrade a creature for the first time, you get to play for free once you get it to this thing to level 3. You got Druid's Chant is back. This did not show up in Battle for White Fang Pass, but it was a alpha original. We've got Fertile Ground. This is a new type of new type of Exalt that deploys with energy counters. This one lets you remove an energy counter comes in with 2 energy counters and lets you remove one to play a level 1 or 2 creature for free. And then it'll destroy itself once all the counters are gone. Got a Pack Bartok. We got Shroudthorn Splicer, another one that's come back from set 1. We have a Spring Bloom Raptor, so each player gains 5 health. So it's similar to Soothing, only I think the stats are much better than what you'd get from a Soothing creature, because you are also giving your opponent some life. Got Stegon Alpha back, another card that supports that increased attack theme. And Tremosaur, the replacement to Thundersaur. So this is a 0/18 with Breakthrough. When you're dealt damage by an enemy creature, this gets that much attack. So pretty cool. We actually got a couple different two whole things of life gain for our Arborist, and they do gain quite a decent amount of life, so that actually makes this a potentially decent Arborist deck. Not too much in terms of removal, but this Fertile Ground, Cultivating Guardian, a couple ways to sort of churn through your deck. But let's go take a look at the Forgeborn. We got a Nova. Some new abilities. Nova's Evolution. You get to upgrade up to 2 level 1 creatures in your hand, then discard one of them. So upgrade, and you get to at least keep one of them to play that turn. We got Crimson Thorn. So this one cares about if you have Exalts in play, which I think a lot of the Forgeborn in the new set have something like this, where if your creature's in a Forgeborn lane, or sorry, in an Exalt lane, or if your opponent's creature's in an Exalt lane, it'll do some extra benefit. So this will give you +6 health on one of your creatures, and if it's in an Exalt lane, it also gives it to the adjacent creatures. So not too bad. And then Bounty, gain for life for each creature in play. So pretty cool Utera deck. This would pair really well with some sort of life gain. You got a little bit of upgrade, a little bit of free play with the Fertile Ground. And yeah, it's interesting. You also have a little bit of a dinosaur route you could go with it. So this looks like it has a lot of different avenues it can go down. Alright, let's take a look at our Tempe's Ardent Smash Fist. So Smash Fist is back and ready for action. This one has a little bit more usefulness in terms of the increased attack theme of Utera Tempe's. So I was not a big fan of this card in Battle for White Fang Pass, but I think this one might actually have a little bit more usefulness in Set 3 in the last winter. So we got Ardent Smash Fist. Blizzard Shaman is back. So Furious Shardback is out. Blizzard Shaman is back. Good old Disintegrate. Got an Echoing Worm. So activate, play an Exalt for free. So yeah, you can get some extra Exalt action. Flamebreak Invoker. Another Set 1 card coming back. You got a Fleet Crasher. Okay, that's an interesting one. So mobility 3, and if it's deployed in a lane with an enemy Exalt, it gets +5 attack. So having mobility on that's pretty nice. You can just put whatever lane that your opponent has an Exalt and then move it to where you need it to go. We got a Fleet Galecaller. So this one has mobility, and you can activate it to move your Exalts or one of your Exalts somewhere else. Got the Mount of Heroes. This one lets you deal damage to your creature to improve the attack of your creatures as well. Sparking is back. Got Sparking Stonefist. And the Windweaver Asir, one of the earliest spoiled cards. You have to activate it to either exhaust or ready a creature. It is level gated, but it is a nice ability. And then we've got Sunder as our Forgeborn here. You have to play up to 2 Spell Sprite minions. Gathering Storm has come back. And we've also got Outwit, which is a new ability. Choose an enemy creature, 8 strikes another enemy creature of your choice. So you can basically kill anything as long as your opponent has a big enough creature to get the job done. So this one has some very interesting mobility and Exalt themes. I think this would probably pair pretty well with a deck that has at least 1 or 2 more Exalts to go with it. But the earlier levels of Mount of Heroes only affects the creature in its lane, so having that Galecaller being able to move it around is pretty nice. But with the Echoing Worm and the Fleet Galecaller, I'd be looking for some sort of Exalt synergy for this deck, and that tends to be the Aloyan and Tempe's theme is the Exalts. Alright, speaking of Aloyan, let's go ahead and move on to our Aloyan deck. Alright, leading off with the Aloyan Monolith, lets you upgrade a card, and then you can activate and destroy it to give your creature armor. Got ourselves an Ardent Specimen, another reprint. Combat Assassin, good old stealth creature. Combat Engineer, so he cares about armor creature being in play, so we should have something with armor in here. Got a Combat Raptor, so we got ourselves a dinosaur in Aloyan. Number 1, pretty cool. Got a Drone Hive. This new Exalt, this is a new class of Exalts that when you slay a creature, it gives a creature a slay ability. This one lets you play gizmos whenever you slay with the creature in the lane. We've got a Guard Champion, so activate, give each, it's got the new Exalted mechanic, so if it's in a lane with an Exalt, it gains that activate ability. And Guard lets you get some armor for the turn when it comes into play, so this is sort of Aloyan's version of life gain. You can just sort of pad your health and it seems to give you a bit more armor than you would otherwise get for life gain in other factions. So I think that's balanced pretty well. Got the best card, Metasite, of podcast fame. We got Spirit Steel Infiltrator. So this is a mobility 3 aggressive creature, and when it deals damage to an enemy player, you may give an enemy creature -6 attack. So the theme for the Aloyan and Necreum in this set has to do with mobility and stealth. So this fits really well into that archetype. And then we got a Zapping Scrapper. So Zapping is a new keyword. I haven't actually seen this one before. So Scrapper is when you replace this creature, give it 8 attack, and deploy, you give the opposing creature -9 attack. So you get a little Electronet effect on it. That's pretty cool. And then for our Forgeborn, we've got Ironbeard. At level 2, he's got Iron Might. Give a creature +5 attack, and if it's in a lane with one of your exalts, you may give it 5 armor this turn. Knockback is a reprint from set 1, and Formation is a reprint from Battle for White Fang Pass, so I'll not go too deep into those. So with this one, that's interesting. So I guess the algorithm's a little weird here. So we have the Combat Engineer, and usually that would require you'd have at least one creature with armor in it. But the only thing that's generating armor here looks like is the Guard Champion, but that gives it to the player. So I think the algorithm's a little bit wonky in this set. Like Combat Raptor, we usually expect that Betrayers would have at least a faction-specific modifier. Combat appears in every color, so that's a little bit disappointing. But it's still fine. You don't always get to have dinosaurs. In terms of what this might pair well with, these seem to be some fairly control-y abilities. So I think this might work really well with either the Tempest half deck or possibly the Necreum, depending on what we open. Speaking of which, let's open our Necreum. So leading off with the Graveborn Collar. So this is a stealth creature that when it damages the opponent, you get zombie brutes. At the lower levels, it's just mindless zombies, but still pretty good. Got an Immortal Echoes. This is a nice rare. So it lets you upgrade a card in your hand. Upgrade a card in your discard pile. And then with this, it gives it sort of an Om-Nom-Nom effect where it'll give it a minus attack and health. And if you kill the creature that way, you get to play something for free in this one. Earlier levels, you get to upgrade an extra card. Infernal Rituals come back. We got a Nyrali Engulfer. So it is got another Exalted ability where you can activate it to destroy a creature with 7 or less attack. It's a little bit of a color shift from what Aloyan likes to do. Got Restless Dead, so you play a zombie brute minion, or you get to reanimate a spirit. It does the exact same thing at all 3 levels. It's just level gated at the lower levels. Got a River of Souls, one of my favorite new cards. After playing with it this weekend, you get to deploy it with 2 energy counters, and you can activate and remove one of those energy counters to reanimate a level 1 or 2 creature. Lower level, it's just at level 2 you can only do a level 1 creature, and at level 1 it just makes mindless zombies, but still giving you multiple bodies over multiple turns, re-triggering deploy effects is really nice. So I'm a big fan of this card. Shambling is back. We got a Shambling Terror. So this one cares about spirits, which is the Utera and Necreum theme. So if you have 3 or more spirits in your banish pile, when this comes into play, you get to give one of your creatures +6/+6. And it's not another creature, so it can give it to itself if it needs to. We've got a Stalking Geist. So Stalking is a new Forge ability that adds aggressive and stealth to the creature. Creepers come back. Just a good old stout creeper in this case. And Zimus is back. And then for our Forgeborn, we've got Circe. So We've got Cersei's Propaganda at level 2, so that's give a creature -3/-3, and if it's in a lane with one of your exalts, you get to give one of your creatures +3/+3. Cycle 3 ability is Grave Robbery, so you get to play a level 1 or 2 creature from an opponent's banished pile. Really nice ability. It's just a free creature, and you get to get back their best creature or the best utility creature for whatever the situation you're in. It's a very flexible ability, and it's just demoralizing to your opponent to have to be beaten down with their own card. And then finally, Soul Siphon, another reprint ability. So I really do like this Nekrium half. We've got a little bit of removal. We got a Shambler, which is always nice. River of Souls with the Nyrali and Golfer is a pretty nice combination because you can just reanimate it. It's in the Exalt lane and its ability is active. So it becomes effectively like a suppressing creature at that point. Shamblers are always good. We've got 2 spirits, which is probably enough if you can get another spirit or 2 in its pairing to meet the Shambling Terror's requirements. But yeah, this looks like a pretty cool deck, especially for sealed. But yeah, I'm very interested in that River of Souls and Shambling Terror, so I might try and find something to pair this with. But like I said, I want to go through all these decks. I'm not going to go through really much of a sealed analysis, though I will keep the decks together. But let's keep on opening them so we can talk more about these new cards. Over the weekend, I had a lot of success with the Aloyan Nekrium pairing, which is all about that evasion and stealth. So we've got, right off the bat, we got an Ardent Creeper, we've got an Advancing Engineer, Arrogant Brawler, and a Betrayer Explosive Demise. Fun fact, I wrote the haiku that's on this card. So let's start off with that, because I'm excited to see this, especially given that it is a Betrayer. And a number 1 at that. Very cool. So speaking of which, if any of you get a Betrayer Explosive Demise or a very low number 1, I'd be very interested in trading, so reach out to me. So we got the Explosive Demise, destroy one of your creatures to give each enemy creature -8/-8. So it is a one-sided epidemic, though you do have to sacrifice a creature to get it started. Ferocious Roar, the opposite of an epidemic, an Explosive Demise. You got Inspirited Dechaosaur. So Inspirited is a pretty cool ability. You get to deploy it, and if you do, you can replace this with another spirit in your banished pile and give that spirit +4/+4. Nature's Progression, so more of the upgrade ability in Utera. At this level, it's free. You give a creature +6/+4, and you get to upgrade a creature in your hand. So it's a really nice little trick there. Got Predatory Attack. This is kind of the replacement to Utera Charger. You give one of your creatures +7 health, and you may have battle an enemy creature. If your creature survives, you get to give another health and battle again. You don't always get the health bonus at the lower levels, but still pretty good. We've got a Shepherding Willow. Activate if you have 3 or more spirits in your banished pile. You gain 5 health, so another nice one there. In the spirit theme, we got Spiky Slayer. That's just a reprint. Stout Featherfang. So Featherfang is back. Stout's a pretty good modifier for Featherfang since it cares about its health being reduced. So it can get attack and for a longer amount of time. We got a Torgmai Mender. So you get to activate this to choose a creature type and give them all +3 health. This is the exact mirror of the Nekrium Spirit Reaver, which gives all creatures of a type -, health. And another Tremorsaur. And for our Forgeborn, we've got Oros with a Shapeshift at level 2. Dark Spores at level 3. Give an enemy creature -8. If it's in a lane with an enemy Exalt, give each creature adjacent to it -5. So your opponent really needs to pay attention to where they're putting their creatures and their Exalts when you have this ability at your disposal. And then we got a Barkskin. So yeah, kind of a neat deck. In terms of what I would do with this, I'm not exactly sure. We don't have any minion generation, so it's a little bit tricky with that Explosive Demise. So it's hard to go wide with like the Ferocious Roar. It doesn't really pair with that. We have a decent number of spells, 4 spells. Not really sure what to think of this. We've only got the 1 Spirit to go with the Chaosaur and the Shepherding Willow itself. Actually, no, we got the Plant Spirit as well, the Mender. So that's not too bad. Yeah, I don't know what to think of this deck, but I do like that it's got a Betrayer Explosive Demise. So let's go on to our Tempest here. We got an Arrogant Brawler on the top. Let's go ahead and get this open. I think I'd be better at this by now. Alright, so Arrogant Brawler, so its deploy as it battles its opposing creature. Pretty good on Arrogant, because then you don't have to risk waiting until combat to trade up as an underdrop. We have an Emboldened Worm. You deploy if you have a creature with increased attack, this gets +9 attack. And actually has pretty decent health for a worm. So you could have a 22-12 worm, not too bad. We have a Firebranding Hawkrider. So Hawkrider is a reprint. It's one of the underdrop cycle. It's hard to see because there's so much text, but its deployability is if one of your creatures was destroyed this turn, deal 6 damage to the enemy player. And it's 6 damage at each level, so you can get quite a lot of damage going that way. The Necreum and Tempest theme is self-destruction. So we got a Flamestoker Ritual, deals 7 damage to one of your creatures and 15 to an enemy creature. So a way to either hurt your creature to deal a lot of damage, or you can actually kill one of your creatures to trigger some death payoffs. We've got a Betrayer Metasite, also number 1. That is awesome. That is fitting for this channel. Very, very cool. We got a Mount of Heroes. We saw that one earlier. We've also got a Stout Giant, again, another reprint. Summoning Shardback. So Shardback is back. Furious is not. So no Furious Shardback in this set. Got Unstable Vortex, another nice creature to enable death synergies. And a Vigilant Colossus. So Vigilant is a weird ability. So it says Defender, while this is opposed, it loses and can't get Defender and has aggressive. So this is a very interesting card in that it's not very good at attacking your opponent, but it is really good at killing opposing defending creatures. Because if you're off Forge, you can drop this and it will totally wreck a Darkheart Sorcerer it is opposing. Following that up, we've got Korok as our Forgeborn. We've got Deep Burn, so deal 6 to the enemy player, and they can't gain health this turn, so a little bit of Shambler hate there. We've got Whirlwind has come back, and then we've also got Stronghold. Give one of your creatures +15. If it's a lane with your Exalt, it gets aggressive this turn. Nice Exalt payoff here. You can just get someone out of nowhere, though it is a little bit telegraphed since your opponent will be able to see where your Exalts are at. So yeah, pretty cool. Very excited about that Betrayer Metasite. A lot of manipulation there. But how powerful is it? Not super powerful. Just a fun deck. So that's 2 for 2 on Betrayers in this pack. Let's check our Necreum out. So what pairings have we not talked about? I think we might have covered them all. We've got green, purple is spirits. We've got green, blue is upgrade, and green, red is increased attack. All right, here we go. Ardent Creeper. Caller of Souls. Okay, so this is an interesting one that was spoiled. So basically, activate if you have 3 or more spirits in your banished pile. Destroy this to destroy all enemy creatures. At its earlier levels, it will upgrade card. You get to choose to upgrade a card in your hand or discard pile. Actually, at second level, you get to do both. And then at the this level, we get to upgrade a card in your hand or upgrade a card in your discard pile. This is a really, really cool card. I really am excited to have opened this. Hopefully we'll have enough spirits to enable it. But yeah, one-sided board wipe is pretty nice. Dark Prying's another one of my preview cards. I'm very excited to open this. So you give a creature +7 increased attack and stealth, though the stealth portion is level gated, and you get to reanimate a creature if you deal damage with that creature this turn. Similar to Feral Instinct from set 1. Got to connect with it, only triggers once, but getting a creature back is pretty awesome. Got Darkshaper Savant, the distant cousin of Flameshaper Savant. So when you play level 1 card, you get to give a creature -5/-5. It's basically an exact copy of the Flameshaper, only it does minus attack and health instead of direct damage. Got a Gloom Reaper Hag coming back. Got a Hungering Strike, give a creature increased attack, and then give another creature decreased health. Got a Malicious Shard Witch, so its exalted ability is to gain stealth, and when it dies, it gives a creature +4 attack. Back into that death theme. Portal Shade has returned to enable the death triggers. Got another River Souls, nice. River Souls is a nice one to pair with the Darkshaper Savant for sure. And a Stalking Dire Hound. Dire Hound was another one of my preview cards. So aggressive stealth, deploy it, you can destroy a creature to reanimate a creature at level gate or and such. In terms of our Forgeborn, we've got a Circe. This one is a soul. The new thing is Soulbind Circe. So this is a new mechanic for the last winter. You get Blighted Forgeborn. So at cycle 2, you can play a Bones of Solace, which is an Exalt. And it reads, when your creature in this lane is destroyed, put an energy counter on this. And then when one of your creatures, rather, is destroyed in this lane, you get to put a counter on it. And then if there's 4 more energy counters on it, you transform it and overlay it onto Circe. The ability is switch the health of 2 creatures of the same level for Soul Swap, and then Soul Siphon. But if you get to upgrade it when you flip the Exalt, you get to deal damage and gain life to your opponent. Instead of Soul Swap, you have Soul Reverse, so you get to switch the health of any 2 creatures. And then Dark Rebirth. So Soul Siphon, you destroy one of your creatures to reanimate anything and give it the reanimated creature +12/+12. Very cool, Circe. Yeah, this is a great deck. I mean, especially with the amount of self-destruction here with the Portal Shade. Well, I don't have a ton of self-destruction now that I think about it. I think you need some self-destruction to really work with it. You got Portal Shade and Stalking Dire Hound to help with the Bones of Solace. To get that ramped up, but being able to like soul swap or Dark Rebirth the color souls to double board wipe in one game could be pretty nice, and switching one of your creatures that's about to die, switching its toughness with someone else is pretty nice. So I definitely want to try this deck out. And how many spirits do we have? We should probably do a check. 1, 2 spirits. Okay, not terrible. But yeah, River Souls and the Darkshaper Savant did a lot of work for me this weekend in one of the sealed events. Because the nice thing is you can stick that Exalt out, and the first level just makes mindless zombies. So you can actually just save that up to when you get your Darkshaper out and immediately activate it to ensure you get at least 1 trigger out of the deal. So we got a Soulbind, but not a Betrayer in that pack. But still a pretty good pack nonetheless. And let's see what we've got here. Got an Advancing Engineer. So what does this do? Okay, when a creature replaces this, you upgrade a card in your hand. So advancing, I don't know how I feel about that modifier. I don't know that if I get a nice big Advancing Engineer, I'm going to want to replace it to get an upgrade, but if it's about to die, that could be a good play. Arrogant Scavenger. Scavenger is one of those ones I really like in terms of its stat progression. Arrogance is a little bit trickier, but it does put out a lot of stats, 32 at level 3 is a pretty big bump over the normal 27 that you get. Energy Surge, another nice reprint. It's been out in every set. We got Guard Tactician, so our guard is back. Got Metamine Warden, one of my preview cards as well. We get to activate it to give a creature -5 attack, and then whenever you upgrade a card, you ready it. Nice way to manipulate the board. You got a Portatron 2000, so a little bit of armor here for our Advancing Engineer. We got a Shield Droid, so its exalted ability is to activate, give each of your creatures 3 armor this turn. Could be good. Ooh, Suppressing is back. We got a Suppressing Scrapper here. Still, it is a reprint from set 1. We got the Silver Arc. So this is actually the story from the first PAX storyline event. Aloyan, or no, was this the first PAX? No, this was from Fuse Fest, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember when this Crescent came out. I want to say it was from the PAX 2022 storyline event where the Silver Arc got added to the Aloyan. Anyway, you deploy it, you give a creature +7/+7, and then when a creature in that lane is replaced, you get to give the replacing creature 7/7 as well. And then a Venerable Researcher as our final card. Another reprint there. And then our Forgeborn is another Ironbeard. So knockback, another reprint. New ability, Shield Slam. Give each of your creatures 2 armor this turn. You may deal 1 damage to an enemy creature for each armor on your creatures. So if you can go wide enough, you can get a pretty, both a good shields up ability to protect them a little bit and really hit something pretty hard with it. That's a nice little sort of combo with the Shield Droid, if you can get that working at the same time. But yeah, kind of neat. I don't know how well it pairs with any of the other decks we just opened, but again, not going to try and do any building. Just want to kind of look at all the new cards and talk about them and what we've experienced so far from Fuse Fest. All right, pack number 3. Let's see what we can get here. All right, Carnivorous Taro is back, and you got an Aerial Assault. Aerial Assault is one of my new favorite cards, so let's open that and talk about it a little bit. So with Aerial Assault, you give a creature mobility, and then when it moves into another lane, you get to destroy the opposing creature. It is level gated, but the mobility increases and the levels it can hit increases as you level the card. But you can do a lot of fun things with that if you have ways to move a creature multiple times in one turn. We got the Aloyan Monolith again. We'll spend time on that. We got an Arrogant Sculptor, so a nice way to get an extra free spell. Got Brigard Carrier, so this is a replacement to, I guess the closest thing you think of it is a replacement to Drix. It's got mobility 1, and anytime it moves, it leaves a Gizmo or a Mega Gizmo in its vacated lane. We got Camouflaged Guide, so this is part of a new cycle in the set. So we had Bartok. This is similar to Bartok in that it gives the next creature you play plus 10 health, rather than just giving stats on both attack and health. But every faction has one of these now, which is pretty cool. We've got a Combat Justicar, Forge Plate Yeti, Metamine Warden's back, Overwhelming Force. Okay, so give each of your creatures +8 attack, and all of your creatures in lanes with your Exalts get 8 armor this turn as well. So if you get a bunch of Exalts out, you can do quite a bit with that. And then finally we have Stabilizing Juggernaut. So Juggernaut's the exalted creature for Aloyan. It just has 5 armor as long as it's in an Exalt lane. And Stabilizing is a keyword that's been available in all the sets thus far. So yeah, what we got, like 3 spells with an Arrogant Sculptor, not terrible. No minion, well, we got the Brigard Carrier's minion generation. Okay, so that's a good way to replace. Oh, let's check out our Forgeborn. So Crux Cobalt. So a bunch of new abilities to look at here. So Mind Wipe, give a creature -3 this turn. If it loses all printed abilities and gains Defender. Shard Psyche destroys creature 8 or less attack, and then Unify. So a lot of words. Let's read it out. Give a creature +5/+5. If it is in a lane with one of your Exalts, you may set another of your creature's attack or health equal to the previous creature's attack or health. Okay, so you can either buff the attack or health of one of your creatures based on the creature you are buffing. Interesting. Don't know how I feel about that. I guess it really is contingent on being good if you have an Exalt in play. So yeah, very, very interesting. Nice to see Crux has some new abilities. Aloyan still is not... I mean, I still think it has a lot of catching up to do to the other factions, but I do think it got a pretty decent boost in the last winter. Let's move on to our Nekrium here. Packs are defeating me today. They won't let me get my spoils. Alright. Here we go. Alright, Covetous Bloodlord. Stealth. Activate. Give another of your creatures -3 attack to give this attack equal to that creature's attack. So, basically, it is a stealther that absorbs your other creature's attacks to buff itself up. A good way to push through damage. Forsaken Monument. It deals 6 damage to a creature. You gain 6 when it comes into play, and then when you play a spirit on top of it, you get to do the same thing and destroy it. Got ourselves a Hematophagic Skeleton. Nice little reprint. Hibernating Spirit. Another nice reprint. Got some really big creatures here. Got a Horrific Dire Hound. It's a pretty nice modifier for a Dire Hound to have. Infernal Ritual is back again. And we got Portal Shade as well. Got the Sacrifice Chamber. So this one reads, you may destroy your level 1 or 2 Sacrifice Chamber, and you give a creature +5 attack, and it gives the creature in that lane, the Slay ability deals 7 damage to the enemy player to gain 7. Pretty nice ability, though it does cost you a little bit in terms of play. Because you need to have a creature to really do anything with it. And then Vampiric Demon, followed by Vyric's Embrace is back. So, nice little combo. We got Forsaken Mausoleum and Vyric's Embrace. A nice little bit of action and a vampiric creature. A lot of actual health triggering in this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that can trigger health gain, which is pretty nice for Nekrium. And our Forgeborn here is Nyx Nekia. The little rebel. So, Loyalty Beyond Death. Give one of your creatures +4 attack. When it's destroyed this turn, you may play a mindless zombie minion in its lane. At the higher levels, you actually get to start reanimating. I think at the highest level, you get to reanimate a creature, and I think it's a zombie brute at 3, but don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. Nyx's Rebellion. You choose a lane, destroy all level 1, 2 cards in the chosen lane. So you get to just completely wipe out any lane of that level of card, the Exalts included. And then finally we have Raising Dead, play a mindless zombie, give your minions +6 attack. A nice combo for the Infernal Ritual. So yeah, this is a cool deck. I like the amount of life gain. I like that it has a few big creatures at the top end. It doesn't have any real way to abuse the Sacrifice Chamber. But, I mean, you could, dropping the Dire Hound into the Sacrifice Chamber could be pretty cool. Just kill the opposing creature and then get a little Slay trigger there. But yeah, nice little bit of stealth, a little bit of aggression. Nice little package there. On to Tempest. Arrogant Stonefist, which is nice. You know, just decently statted creature. Yeah, nice underdrop. There really isn't a whole lot of elemental synergy in this set, but let's see what else we get in here. Arrogant Stonefist. Ooh, Assuran Flames. I think this is going to be actually a really good card. So deal 7 damage to a creature. If you have a creature with increased attack, you may deal 7 damage to another creature. It's kind of like Flame Sculptor Seal. Got a Firebranding Sparker. So this is, again, another Bartok-like creature in the cycle. You give the next creature you play this turn plus 10 attack. The Firebranding aspect is what deals 6 damage to your opponent when you have a creature destroyed. If a creature was destroyed this turn. Another Flame Break Invoker. Another Flame Stoker Ritual. We got the Frost Veil Keeper. So this is an interesting one. 14/14 aggressive. So that's just amazing right off the bat. Pretty scary to have a 14/14 aggressive. Though I guess Everflame Phoenix is a 15/15? So that's also pretty scary. But at the start of turn, destroy an enemy creature with decreased health. But in order to get to that level, you get an aggressive creature that destroys itself at the start of your turn. So, good for enabling destruction early on. Great at the 3rd level. Got an Inflaming Warhound. Got another Mount of Heroes. Another Stout Giant. And a Wildfire Maiden. So this is Exalted, activate to deal 6 damage to a creature or player. Very nice. It does basically as much as a Sparking Omni at each level. Without the extra act. You know, you have to put it in an Exalted lane, so there's a little bit more hoops to jump through, but has a little bit better stats. That's for sure. And for our Forgeborn, we've got Korok. Got the Deep Burn again, deal 6 damage, they can't gain life, Whirlwind, and then Korok's Wisdom, play a Tempest card for free. So I believe this is level gated, depending on which level or which cycle it shows up at, but hey, free cards are free cards. So this has a lot of, a couple little destruction enablers / payoff. So I don't know, this might pair pretty well with a Nectarian deck, if I'm not mistaken. But let's go ahead and check out our last one, which is our Utera. And our Utera has brought back one of my favorites, the Carnivorous Taro. I don't believe Kindred was reprinted in this set since they are shifting away from the life gain theme, but Taro's still a nice one to give a little bit of remnant of the feel of that archetype. We got a Cherished Shrine, so deploy it to give, and you give any creature 12 armor this turn, so you don't have to do it in the lane that it's in, but you can activate it if you have 3 or more spirits in your Banished pile. You can give the creature in the lane 6 armor this turn. So this is what some of the Aloyan shield things like Shield Node should have worked like. This is much better in terms of its functionality, and with the way that armor works in this game. Druid's Chant reprint. Got a Ferocious Raptor. We've got a Haunting Wildman. Okay, so Wildman is the exalted, sort of the common exalted creature for Utera. Just gets Breakthrough if you're in an Exalt lane, but this one has Haunting, which gives it the Spirit subtype. Otherwise, it would normally just be a warrior. We've got a Regenerating Aetherhound, so when you deploy it, if you replace a creature, it gets +5 health and you gain 5 life. At the end of the turn, if it has decreased health, you give it +5. So, little bit of give and take on there. If you do the replacement, it's less likely it'll activate their generating ability, but still pretty cool. Stegodon Alpha. Got another Torgmai Mender. Got Utera Forebear. So this card was doing a lot of work over the weekend. So you deploy it, you give another creature +5/+5, and when it dies, you give a creature +5/+5. Very small body, but I think it goes 2/2. I want to say, let's see what was the levels. 2/2, 3/3, and then 5/5 for the progression in terms of how much stats you put out there. Very nice for destruction synergies. And then we got the Wolfstar Djinn. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spirits here to go with our Cherished Shrine, or 5 spirits actually to go with our Cherished Shrine. So very nice spirit deck. Here we've got another Nova, United as 1, so give a creature +2 attack for each creature you have in play. Okay, not too bad, go wide, but also get something tall. We got the Crimson Thorn again, and Nova's Might is back as well. So not really much in terms of life gain. We got the Aetherhound and the Druid's Chant to go with our Taro, but I don't think life gain is really the focus of this deck. But a lot of spirits, so that could be very interesting. And I want to try out the Cherished Shrine. I did not play it this weekend. I didn't really play any Uterra this weekend, but I'm interested to see how the Shrine plays out in terms of sort of protecting or giving sort of ongoing value throughout the game. All right, last but not least, I'm sure I will be doing more box opening videos once the Kickstarter product starts to arrive. But let's see what we get in this final pack. So, 4 for 4, no foil decks, but that is okay. It's been a while since I've opened a foil. Actually, I think I've only ever opened one set of decks with foils, but here we are. All right, let's go into our Necram, Abyssal Demon. I'm sure they can make up for it with some cool soul binds in this pack. I think we only got, well, we got a Circe soul bind, and was that about it? I'll have to go back and look. I don't remember at this point. All right, so we got Abyssal Demon. We got the Forsaken Mausoleum. Horrific Reaper. We got a Hungering Strike again. Okay, another Immortal Echoes. Infernal Ritual. Ooh, a Malicious Caller, so Betrayer, another #1 Betrayer. Activate move, it's a creature to any other lane, and when it's destroyed, you get something +4. So, like I said, this is what you expect from a Betrayer Forge creature, where you have a faction-specific modifier for a Tempest native creature. Alright, we got the Nayeli Engulfer again, or not Nyrali Engulfer again. Another Portal Shade. And a Stout Geist. And for Forgeborn, we've got Circe again. And it's another Blighted Circe. So, again, we get the Bones of Solace for this. Slightly different. We have Sorrow, which gives all non-Necram creatures -3/-3, but then it becomes Pestilence. And it just hits all the enemy creatures. So, pretty nice. Definitely one worth working towards to sort of give a reverse Nova's Might on all of your opponent's creatures. And I also just like the art on the Blighted Circe here. Very cool. So in terms of this deck, what do we have going on? It's kind of all over the place. You know, Forsaken Mausoleum is the only Exalt to go with our Engulfer. It's a little awkward because the Engulfer will kind of block the lane where you want to be like dropping a spirit in there to trigger it. You know, no huge creatures. Stout Geist is okay. Portal Shade's okay. But again, this is not a very focused deck, so it's hard to say what this is really trying to do. But it has a cool Betrayer. It's nice to be able to move stuff around. I could definitely see using the Malicious Caller to move the Nyrali Engulfer into a lane with an Exalt at will. And just to mess with combat and all that good stuff. But let's go on to Uterra with another Cherished Shrine. Alright, that one came out a little bit easier. Alright, got our Cherished Shrine. We got a good old Combat Bear. Another Druid's Chant. Got a Hard Shell Beetle. Okay. So, while this has increased attack, it has 8 armor. We've got an Oxidon Rager, another reprint from Battle for Fang Pass. Predatory Attack, which we talked about earlier. Spirit Charm is back, which you would hope in a faction that cares about spirits. Oh, interesting. Another Betrayer #1. Uprising Devourer. So you may destroy one of your exalts to destroy a creature. That's the Devourer part. But if it would gain attack, it gets that amount +4. So this guy wants to be buffed and buffed hard. So Uprising is an interesting modifier. And then we got a Utera Forebearer and just a Venerable Wildman. So we got the Forebearer and the Druid's Chant to help increase attack for our Devourer and our Hardshell Beetle. But this looks like it would pair really nicely with the Tempest deck. In terms of our Forgeworn, Nova again with Evolution at 2, same as the one we saw before. Nova's Might at 3 and Unite as 1 at 4, giving a creature +7 for each creature you have in play. So that could be very, very devastating if you can fill up your board and your opponent leaves even one lane unblocked. You get to give something +35 attack if you can fill your board. Pretty cool. Yeah, we've gotten a few Betrayers in this kit, which is nice. 2 for 2, as it were. Alright, let's do our Tempest pack with our Adrius the Butcher right on top here. Alright, let's see what we got here. Got Adrius the Butcher, so if he has an increased attack, you can activate him to strike an enemy creature in any lane. Earlier levels at level 2, you battle any creature, and then at the level 1, you can just battle an opposing creature if he has an increased attack. But a nice little way to kind of kill creatures outside of combat. Got Ancestral Staff. You can activate this to move it around, and it gives a creature increased attack when you put it in the lane. When you play a creature in a lane, it gives it increased attack. Kind of hard to see, the text is so tiny. And when you play the new one, it destroys the old one, but also deals some damage to a creature, which is nice. Chain Lightning. I did not play this or get it played against me, but I heard it did a lot of work this weekend. You play 2 Spellsworn minions, and when you give a creature plus attack this turn, deal 2 damage to an enemy player. I can see how that can get out of control pretty quickly. Got a Deep Frost Guardian. Activate to deal 3 damage to a creature. If this has increased attack, that creature also gets Defender. Got the Echoing Smash Fist, so you can slay something for increased attack and play Exalt for free with it. An Echoing Warstoker. Okay, double Echoing. I'm interested. You got a Fleet Giant. Nice big mobility creature. You got a Lava Field Watchdog. Breakthrough, and when you deploy it, if you had a creature die this turn, it gets +10 attack. So a 19/7 Breakthrough. And all you gotta do is lose a creature. Got a Mount of Heroes. Okay, that's pretty interesting with our Ancestral Staff here. Being able to drop that out, or sorry, not Ancestral Staff, the Chain Lightning. Being able to drop this, hit a creature, increase attack across the board, deal 10 damage. Not too bad. And then Stampeding Mongosaur is our last one, but that's a pretty nice combination with our Lava Field Watchdog, because you can just kill a Mongosaur, get a big-ass Watchdog in the process. There we see the Butcher. You get to battle instead of strike at the lower level. Let's see what our Forgeborn is. Got a Sunder. So, Summon the Swarm. Reclaim a new ability you haven't seen yet. Upgrade a spell in your hand. If it's an Exalt, you get to play it for free. So this is a very interesting Exalt-y deck. So we got 2 Exalts. We got a Forgeborn that cares about Exalts. We got the Outwit again at cycle 4. So this is another deck I might actually try and do something cool with, because double Echoing is pretty nice, especially if we can get a bunch of Exalts out. It functions a lot like the Urantia Elementalist. So at the first level, Echoing, you have to replace a creature to get the free Exalt, and it's level gated, but by the time you get to the second level, it's just free, just like it is with the Urantia Elementalist. So yeah, this is a very interesting deck. I'm gonna have to see what I compare this with. It has a lot of stuff that cares about increased attack, and a lot of stuff to enable increased attack. So yeah, pretty cool. And then it also has a bunch of Exalt stuff going on with it. So very, very cool. All right. Last pack from this box. Let's end it with the Alolan. Maybe we can get something really cool out of this. And we'll see what happens here. All right. Bolstering Prophet. You play it, you give a creature increased armor for the turn. Citadel Researcher. So Citadel is a new ability. It just gives the creature a defender, but also gives it pretty decent stats. So we got a number 2 Bolstering Prophet and a number 1 Citadel Researcher. So this is a pretty low deck. Metamind Overseer is back. You got a Mobilizing Specimen. So when you play this, you get to give another creature Mobility 3 for the turn. Pretty cool. So I guess it's probably Mobility 1, 2, then 3. Another Overwhelming Force. Got a Shield Droid. Got Soul Cipher. Okay, this is a card I really, really like. I had a lot of fun with this weekend. So you can activate it to switch a creature's attack and health. At the lower levels, it's just a deploy ability, but it doesn't matter. You can do it your creature, their creature, itself. So it's a very, very flexible card. It has a decent stat progression. It's a spirit for decks that care about that. And yeah, just a really, really solid all-around card. It's a nice little package of way to just sort of really screw around with combat math. Very, very nice. Got Silver Arc again. You got a Zapping Virtuoso. And a Zapping War Charger. Okay, cool. So, Zapping War Charger, nice. You just drop it out there, zap something, and then move it out of the way after nerfing the creature. Pretty cool. Okay, and let's see what we got for our Forgeborn. We've got another Crux Cobalt. Synaptic Siphon, Mind Wipe, and then, so Mind Wipe, it actually goes up to 2 creatures at level 3, and then Shattered Psyche at 4. So pretty cool, and actually I'm going to take a quick peek. Deck number 139, pretty low number. Very cool. So yeah, as far as the decks I'm most excited about out of that pack, I definitely am very excited about that Tempest deck. A lot of stuff going on with those Exalt synergies. But yeah, I really enjoyed opening this box. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Last winter Kickstarter rewards should be landing in the mail probably in the next couple weeks, so I'm excited to see more box openings in the future. Probably I will be doing some sealed gameplay with these kits we just opened in future videos. And then maybe I'll do a quick analysis video and then show some gameplay action with it during those videos. And yeah, I will see you guys in the queue. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do a like and a share and a subscribe. And we will catch you for the next one.